Today we're going to talk about shrinkflation yet again. It is November 22nd, 2024. I guess this is like the Thanksgiving edition of the Shrinkflation Watch. Not quite as much as last week, so that's kind of a positive, but some really bad ones, including orange juice, which I'm going to do another video on because that one's especially interesting. And we'll start here with Pringles. Small can of Pringles. They made the chip smaller ages ago. This is two-step shrinkflation. So now they made the chip smaller a while ago, but didn't change the packaging because that costs, a little bit of extra money to R&D the new packaging, right? So then they wait a couple months, R&D the new packaging, and then they can put on the packaging how much their packaging is saving the environment. Less packaging per annum in ANZ, which is... I don't honestly know where ANZ is. I'm failing right now. New Zealand? But yeah, it's the same thing in the US. I don't know if they've quite done this yet, but same idea and same core concept of shrinkflation. This is a great example of how it's done in multiple steps to, again, kind of keep it under the radar, confuse people. So that people see this, less packaging. They see the packaging is smaller, and then they look at it and they say, oh, less packaging, better for the environment, blah, 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 with the same amount of chips. And then they can, go on with their day and say, oh, that's nice. They made the packaging better for the environment, but it's the same amount of chips. When they didn't notice that they lowered the amount of chips 6 months ago, and, they might have noticed more air in the package, but they just assume that that's their brain remembering differently, or that it's a bad batch or something like that, and then they move on with their life, get to this can, forget all about that incident, and see this and believe it. That's how it works. So shout out to Pringles and everybody here who knows exactly how it's going to go. Yes, phase 2 of corporate shrinkflation, greenwashing us into believing they're doing things for the environment. They're not. Any company, any corporation, again, I want to stress this very clearly. Any corporation, big corporation, right? Any company, any big corporation, anything that they say is, 90% chance going to be a lie, or at least a lie of omission, or kind of playing with the truth. You cannot believe anything on a package. You cannot believe anything in a press release. You cannot believe anything in a commercial. Everything has to be double checked, because they do things like this where they can technically say it's the same amount of chips, because it is, but that's because they reduced the chips before without saying. So that's the double whammy, and why you gotta keep a watch out for these things. So shout out to Pringles. This video I haven't watched, and we're gonna save it for the end. But apparently a local Los Angeles news outlet has decided to make their own video about shrinkflation. Again, I haven't watched it yet, so I don't even know what products they're going to cover. This is going to be a little bit of a treat at the end of the video. So if you stick around, we'll watch this together. But let's move on. Bob's Red Mill Bars, a sad one, because I think Bob's, in terms of oatmeal, is the best. That's my personal opinion. Now, oatmeal is kind of like a cheap product to begin with, and paying more for Bob's always felt kind of bad, but I still did it anyway because I like their quality of oatmeal. But this is a bad sign. Them just shrinking these bars, which I didn't even know they had bars. I thought they just made oatmeal. But apparently they make oat bars, and they just decided to shrink them a little bit and reduce the protein in them, which this guy's complaining about. This is why he's mad. They cut the size of the bars, and it's throwing off the nutritional value. This is the worst part for me when I buy something from a store. It is specifically because it is the perfect balance of things and convenient. Changes like this throw me off so bad. Yes, the whole point of these bars is that they're convenient. They're good to fill in as a snack, or like in addition to a meal, to kind of fill in your nutrients and your proteins and all that good stuff. But not anymore. So I guess Bob's is now on the list of fucking bad companies. Bob's Red Mill specifically. Alright, and this one hurt me. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I saw this myself at the Dollar General, which is where this price tag is from. I recognize it very specifically. Yes, they've gone from 6 bars to 5 in their little fun size bar packaging, which started with 8, I believe, and then went to 6, and now is down to 5, which is just insanely ridiculous. So yeah, don't do that. Short answer, greed. Everybody knows what's going on. I'm glad that nobody's trying to counteract that message. This one, I'm just flabbergasted by. I haven't bought Jimmy Dean sausage, well, I haven't bought it in a while, but occasionally I'll buy the frozen links or the frozen round sausages just to have for convenience sake because they taste good. Don't buy the turkey ones, but this is just atrocious. It's the packaging that really throws me off. Is there, in fact, 9.6 ounces in this, do you think? I wish this person had weighed it because it's so off from the cardboard that it's really confusing to me that this is even on a shelf. Like this is going to be the next product where they're going to, cut the cardboard and say, hey, now we've got less packaging. Oh wait, hold on. It's supposed to have 2 packages in it. Hold on. Problem solved. This is supposed to have 2 of these packages in it. Now it makes sense why it looks like this, but yeah, it still looks like shit, but you're off the hook, Jimmy Dean. I think this is, we've just realized there's supposed to be 2 packs in here, so I'm not going to go too crazy about this, but that's not acceptable. This one little half turd in here is not really acceptable, but didn't quite check that one thoroughly, so we'll move on. Wawa shrank all their fountain soda sizes. Again, this is almost every company. Taco Bell did this a couple weeks ago. I feel like this is going to be universal. At least in the US, that extra large is now going to be 40 ounce instead of 44. And this sodas have been, like, the standard size for sodas, at least, for me, since I've been alive, has been 44, 32, 20, 16, 12. That's generally how it goes. I've never seen 30, I've never seen 40 until now, so yes, apparently every company is going to do that because that saves them a couple pennies and doesn't help you. I mean, I guess maybe it'll help you drink less soda, but again, screw everybody who has a problem with soda. This is the hill I'm going to choose to die on. Actually, Coke and Pepsi are horrible companies, but I'm addicted, so don't shrink my soda, please. This is the kind of, my favorite kind of shrinkflation, where they indent the plastic packaging to give you less so you don't notice when you grab it. Because of this comment, this is not only deceptive, but it also creates more plastic waste. Yes, they're actually using more plastic to create this indent so that it takes up more space so that they can give you less of the actual nuts, which cost them money, which is just fucking bullshit, bro. I was about to get mad. That shape is required from optimum filling at the plant. A flat bottom would also be less secure and slower during conveyance. Signed some shill on this sub, probably. I was about to get mad reading that until I realized it was a fucking joke, which is a very funny joke. So let's move on. String cheese. I have not been able to confirm this in person. Not a string cheese buyer regularly. It's an occasional thing for me. But this is sad. Just like toilet paper has seemingly become, the tubes have shrunk like half an inch somehow, and nobody's noticed, and they've gotten away with that. They're now shrinking your string cheese, but they haven't quite shrunk the plastic packaging yet, because again, that would cost money. So they're just instead putting these, like, I don't know, what is that, like a quarter smaller, like 25% smaller string cheese in the plastic packaging, the same ones. And then when they run out or they decide that it's worth the investment to retool their packaging, then they'll put on there that they are saving plastic in their new packaging. So watch out for that. This one, another 100 gram sliced off Christmas celebration tubs. I'm not in the UK. I've seen celebration tubs on the internet. That's all I know. But I know it's supposed to be like kind of a Christmas tradition in the UK. It's not something I celebrate, but they posted this image, which is amazing. So this is what we went from. And these are tubs of candy, by the way. This is like a multi-pack of like Twix and Snickers or whatever, but they're like the UK version. So it's like Mars bars and shit. I don't know exactly. But they've gone from this big old tub, which is kind of the point of it being a Christmas thing, is that it's a giant tub of candy you can share with everybody, to this tiny tub, which isn't really that shareable anymore, which is hilarious to me. So, yes, a lot of people complaining in here from the UK. Good, you should complain, because that's straight up bullshit. Another UK one, but this one's a simple open and shut case of getting caught in the act of shrinkflation. Still says 5-pack on the packaging, or I mean on the price tag in the store, but they changed it to a 4-pack. Same price last week. They didn't sell you what's on the shelf label. So people often go with this fair trading practice, lodge a complaint, blah, blah, blah. Yes and no. Here's my advice on this. If you want to be a person who measures their food or takes this picture and sends, if you sent this picture to, for example, this company, the pickup company, and said, "Hey, what the fuck," that would be a good idea. But I would not like hassle the grocery store necessarily, because the only people that you're going to bother are entry level employees and maybe a store manager who also is not making any kind of decisions like this. So the people you want to bother are corporate. So if you take this picture and send it to the corporate support, probably nobody will see it. But if we all do that, if we all say, "Hey, let's bombard with corporate messages, corporate with messages about these kind of things," maybe that can make a difference. But definitely don't bother the grocery store employees, because they have no fucking clue. Or even regular employees of this company have no clue. It's just the CEOs, it's the upper management who makes these decisions, and they're the people that you should bother. Lodge a complaint, yes. Just make sure you do it to the right people and don't bother regular employees. That's my advice. This one blew my mind. Okay, this is a guy. I was gonna say a guy. It's a girl. I'm a 5-foot female with small hands, taking a picture of a chicken tender at KFC, and then a chicken drumstick, and a thigh. And this blew my mind. I already knew that like KFC chicken was skimpy. That's generally the case. Like the chicken tenders, when you get like a 10-piece chicken tender, you don't know if you're gonna get 10 good chicken tenders or like 4 or 5 good tenders, and then like 4 or 5 of these that don't even count. They should be like a chicken nugget, but they do. They count as a chicken tender, a $2 chicken tender right here. That's $2 of chicken. And then what really blew my mind is somebody posted a link in here. Private equity vultures figured out a way to cut a chicken into 12 pieces instead of 9, which I had no idea. This is a real picture. And this is from KFC Canada. I don't know if they do this in the US yet, but they probably do. And if they don't, they probably will start. But I mean, you can see the diagram where they obviously have thighs, drumsticks, breasts, and wings. And now that's before. But now we have 2 thighs per thigh, and like the chicken breast is cut into 4 pieces, and the drumstick is slightly smaller. Thanks for noticing that something is a bit different about our chicken. You're right. Even though KFC hasn't changed, which it has, its pieces have, which means it's changed. Like you can't say it hasn't changed, but you know, KFC hasn't changed. It's just changed. That's all. Different prices, same farmers. We're proud to support Canadian farmers. Blah blah blah. Who gives a fuck? As the end consumer, not me. The point is, they're cutting your chicken up into ways that do not make sense for anybody. Oh boy, they have another corporate reading over here. Oh no, we can't read it. What is this guy? This is the guy who quoted it. Our highly trained team of chicken experts worked tirelessly to figure out a way to cut the chicken so you get the same amount of finger-licking goodness for the same price as before. That means a bucket of chicken will still provide your family with a satisfying, filling, and great-tasting meal. No. This should be just straight up illegal, but I guess they're getting around it by just not actually specifying. They're just saying you're getting the same amount for the same price, which would technically be true if they don't raise the price and they don't tell you what the same amount is. They just have an infographic. There's no actual hard numbers for somebody to say, "Hey, that's not true." even though it's blatantly not true. If you're cutting your chicken up into smaller pieces, then you're getting smaller pieces. So that's how far shrinkflation has fallen in the chicken world. Is that the only way to squeeze a couple pennies out of there now is to change the fundamental way that chicken is cut worldwide into having double thighs, which just is fantastic. So that's good news for everybody. Then we have this news come out: alleged potato cartel accused of conspiring to raise price of frozen fries and tater tots. This I have no doubt about, because fries, specifically frozen fries, are something that after COVID have raised prices dramatically and stayed dramatically higher, and have not gotten any sort of deals or any kind of real inflation relief at all. And it's something I've definitely noticed, because I buy a lot of frozen fries because I'm lazy, and I like to have frozen fries for a side. And Checkers, specifically frozen fries, I used to buy bags of them for $3, and now buying a bag for under $5 is almost impossible, and they very rarely go on sale. So let's look into the alleged potato cartel, which I'm pretty sure definitely existed. Two proposed class action lawsuits filed this week claim that four leading potato companies, McCain Foods, Cavendish Farms, Lamb Weston, and J.R. Simplot, which Lamb Weston, guys, you guys make the best fries. They're the grown in Idaho, made in Idaho fries, but I guess we gotta stop buying them. Have privately swapped intel to inflate the price of frozen potato goods like fries, hash browns, and tater tots. This is so believable. Armed with the same access to each other's data on pricing and other sensitive information, the potato cartel moves prices skyward in lockstep, harming all purchasers in the process. So yeah, they're just basically monopolizing this industry. McCain and Cavendish are both based in Canada. In a statement to CBC News, McCain said it disputes these allegations, which of course it does. Companies in Canada and the United States are supposed to settle on a price for their products on their own. When they coordinate with each other and set an agreed rate, it's called price fixing, which generally makes the price higher for the consumer, since the main player companies are agreeing not to compete with lower prices. That's the key. That's really the key. When these companies collude, which they all do, that's how the prices go up. That's why rent has gone up like crazy, is because the great Silicon Valley came out with a new app that let all the little landlords out there, all the wannabe rich people who own a couple houses and rent them out, all these great landlords that everybody knows and loves in their life, got together on this app and set prices higher than they should be by colluding with each other to make sure that all their rents were around the same price in the same neighborhood, and making sure that that price was higher than it was before, so that anybody who wanted to move to that area or any area of the entire country ran into the same kind of price issues. And that's why rent has been completely fucked since COVID. But let's move on to potatoes. In one lawsuit filed in Illinois on Friday, Pennsylvania-based supermarket chain, a supermarket chain, interesting, alleged McCain, Cavendish, Lamb Weston, and J.R. Simplot have been working together to fix the prices of potato products since at least early 2021. That lines up exactly with when I started to see these price differences. The document on behalf of Redner's Market, so thank you, Redner's Market, I guess. Simultaneous price increases in 2021 and 2022. That's true. Amazing how all the major suppliers for French fries and the like are raising their prices at the same time and by the same amount. Totally not collusion or anything, right? In 2022, of course. Since the potato companies together control up to 98% of the frozen potato market in the U.S., so they must own the Arby's fries and the Checkers fries too, I'm guessing. I don't know who exactly makes them. I never really looked on the package, but it's probably one of these four. The lawsuit accused Lamb Weston of telling managers to only talk about their competitors' pricing over text, not email, to avoid creating an email trail. A second suit filed also in Illinois on behalf of Alexander Javoa, a consumer who lives in Virginia, shout out, said the company allegedly used a data aggregation service and a trade association, Potatoes USA, to swap information to manipulate and coordinate prices. Yeah, that's what they're doing. I think everybody probably realizes that's what they're doing, and hopefully they actually face a punishment for this that's not just a fucking slap on the wrist. If certified, Javoa's class would include consumers who bought the company's frozen potatoes. I would get in on this so fast. For sure, I'd get in on both of these immediately, assuming that they go through. The potato allegations south of the border come just over a year after Toronto-based Canada Bread was fined $50 million for its widespread scheme to fix the price of packaged bread for 14 years. See, $50 million is not enough. It needs to be a lot more. I want the company to really fucking hurt. All four of them. Loblaw and its parent company, George Weston, separately agreed this year to settle a class action over their involvement in the scandal for $500 million, which lawyers representing the plaintiffs described as the largest antitrust settlement in Canadian history. What is this for? Loblaw, George Weston, to pay. Oh, I thought it just said $50 million. Am I crazy? Oh, Canada Bread was charged $50 million. Loblaw's was charged $500 million. I mean, great, but that's still apparently not enough. Make it worse. McCain was founded as a family business in New Brunswick, blah, blah, blah. Cavendish was in Canada, all that good stuff. So, yeah, this is a Canada-focused story, but US and Canada together coordinated to make your fries insanely expensive. And the fact that these are called super fries in Canada is hilarious. Here we go. Australia. This is Woolworths again. I don't shop there. I don't know anything about it. I think this is either the UK or Australia. I want to say Australia. But anyway, they went from a 10-pack, a 10-pack of chocolate-coated classic sticks, which is a funny name, to a 9-pack, and they're also smaller with a new recipe. So that's horrible. So if you're one of these people who shop here at Woolworths in Australia, made in Australia with at least 68% of ingredients. Oops. So where's the percentage on here? 81%. So it's actually, there are more Australian ingredients in the new one. So I guess you can support that if you want to also support horrible shrinkflation. This made me laugh really quickly. Fun size bag of ice. Why did they choose the name Fun Size? I'm stuttering because it's so stupid. That they have a fun size bag of ice. I'm not sure how much is in here exactly. I'm gonna guess like 3 pounds. Ice is also apparently food. You can see it's behind like the big 5-pound bags. But yeah, fun size. I don't know how much is in here. I'm gonna guess 3 pounds, maybe. I can't really read it. Maybe 5 pounds, but I don't know how much smaller a bag of ice you can get and have it actually be useful for anything. So that's just amazing. Lastly, before we get to the video, this was just posted in the Switzerland subreddit, which Switzerland obviously feeling some pain from their Swiss chocolate lead thing, their whole debacle. But yeah, this is funny. We've got a package that goes 3, 6, 9, 12, and then they changed it to go 2, 3, 3, 2 to take out 2 of the chocolates in here, but keep the packaging basically the same. They shortened it just a tiny bit so that you would probably never notice unless the packages are right next to each other. But the dividers and the fact that it goes 2, 3, 3, 2 instead of being even is just amazing. So shout out to Switzerland, who is also feeling the shrinkflation hard. And now we're going to watch this local video. Let me put my headphones on and see what they have to say about prices, I guess, in Los Angeles. So let's check it out.
Your 10 at 10 continues now with story number 4. A new report on shrinkflation shows that Many popular household items have shrunk since the pandemic, but the prices, well, they've stayed the same. On Your Side's Christine Lazar takes a look at which items have been hardest hit by this sneaky form of inflation. Christine.
And I realized I didn't move my prop. We got our chips right there on the desk, which we're going to talk about after this story. But, you know, a lot of people that I spoke to outside grocery stores say they would rather just have straight inflation, right?
Yes.
They'd rather have the same amount in the bag or the box and just see the price going up because they feel like shrinkflation is pretty deceiving. Consumers may not spot it right away, but they are catching on and pushing back.
That's the whole point of shrinkflation, is for it to be deceiving. That's the whole reason. But I also would not prefer the inflation either, unless they want to inflate it following the rate of inflation as it is. So if they want to inflate the price by 2% a year, that'd be fine, I guess. We could all work with that, but that would be a lot less than what they've actually done.
They announced it would add 20% more chips to its Tostitos and Ruffles brand after people complained that their bags were only half full.
It's a drag, but I don't know what we can do about it.
Shopper Chuck Hill is resigned to the fact that his grocery bill has gone up and the amount of food he can get for his money has gone down.
Especially in like cookies, because I buy a lot of cookies. And then like the big jugs of iced tea used to be a lot bigger.
A new study by Lending Tree found that nearly 3 in 4 Americans have noticed that some of their go-to grocery items have gotten smaller.
I don't know what happened to the fourth person. They're just blind, I guess.
Dubbed shrinkflation, and consumers don't like it.
82% of the people surveyed in our survey say that they find shrinkflation deceiving. And 66% say that in some instances they've stopped buying products where they've noticed serious shrinkflation altogether.
Researchers at Lending Tree found that household paper products saw the highest rate of change. Take Angel Soft toilet paper in 2019 with a 12.
Very curious about this because I bought Angel Soft for a long time, probably a decade plus.
Mega roll pack. You got 429 sheets. Today, that same package is only 320.
That hurts, but I feel Angel Soft. The sad thing about this is, it hurts me specifically and every other broke person who buys Angel Soft because it's still basically the cheapest toilet paper. That's not like the Scott One Ply that's unusable. In my opinion, this is still basically the cheapest regularly available brand of toilet paper. Still, which sucks.
20 sheets. The price went down slightly, but the price per 100 count went up from 19 to 22 cents. Next to paper products, breakfast, candy, and snack products were most likely to experience shrinkflation, like family-sized Frosted Flakes. Pre-pandemic, a 24-ounce box was $3.64 or 15 cents per ounce. Today, that same box only contains 21.7 ounces and now costs about $1 more.
Wow, see, that's horrible. But perfect example.
To downsize their products.
But it's worth pointing out that we're pretty much past that. Global supply chains are more or less back to normal, more or less where they were prior to the pandemic. And at this point, you kind of have to start questioning, why are companies still doing shrinkflation when the economic realities outside of them wanting to make more profit don't really justify it anymore?
Even your sweet tooth fix has shrunk. Take party size Reese's miniatures.
Oh.
The bag is now 35.6 ounces and more expensive, up from $8.98 in 2019 to $13.24 in 2020.
That is fucking insane. I mean, I don't know, that's a weird example to get this specific party size bag. I don't know how many people buy that specifically, but yeah, Reese's is just, they hate us. That's all I can say.
A more than 68%
they hate their customers
per ounce. And if you crave salty over sweet, a party-sized bag of sour cream and onion Lay's potato chips shrunk from 14 3/4 ounces.
Wait, hold on. What's the price in 2019 gonna be? I'm gonna say $3.99
to 12.5 ounces, with the price
$3.98. Okay, and then now it's like $5.98.
Jumping from $3.98 to $5.44.
Everything is smaller. It's less ounces, and the bags are halfway full, and you're paying more. So it's a joke.
How does that make you feel as a consumer?
That we're getting ripped off.
Right.
Now, I did reach out to the makers of all the products profiled in this piece, but only the makers of Angel Soft toilet paper got back to me. They said in order to make their production process more efficient, they did reduce the number of sheets per roll in 2022, but then in some cases they added more rolls to the package. And Lay's potato chips.
So Angel Soft's typical bullshit. Yeah, we did it, but we threw in one more roll, even though that didn't make up for it, and you just put the math on screen where the price per sheet is still, in fact, significantly higher.
One of my favorites that was in our piece.
Yes.
And they're down about 2 ounces, which is what we measured out here. So it's, you know, like a heaping handful of chips that are no longer in the bag, but you're now paying more for that bag too. So shoppers are really feeling it. And
Yes.
again, I think a lot of them say, hey, to the companies, listen, if you're going to charge us more, then just keep the same amount in the bag. But unfortunately, what we're seeing now is kind of a 1-2 punch.
No, we don't say that. Don't say that. And if you're watching this video, don't say that. Say don't raise the price either. Just keep it the same and keep the price the same. That's it.
Less in your bag, and you're also paying more.
Exactly.
Since 2019.
Exactly. So it kind of helps us with our waistline, but you know.
But not so much with our pocketbook.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. All right, Christine.
But thank you. Shout out to KCal here, local Los Angeles, local for people in Los Angeles, not for me, not even remotely. But shout out to these two, and anybody else at this local station who worked on this story. Do more. Whoever pushed for this story, please push more of these kind of stories. This is exactly what people should see on the morning news. I wish this story played basically on every morning news station. So yeah, that's the shrinkflation for this week, November 22nd. McDonald's just announced their new McValue system, which I'm probably going to make a video on in the coming days, maybe tomorrow or the next day, because it's so laughable, because it's basically the same exact thing they already have. And otherwise, we got orange juice to talk about as well. And I'll see you next Friday with probably a lot more shrinkflation. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes. And if you're going to go out on Black Friday, I guess you'll be fine now. I don't think people shop on Black Friday anymore. They just shop online. So, whatever. See you next time.